There are these how this person fell off videos, how that person fell off videos, and I really hate them. They're so mean-spirited. There used to be this error in creator spaces where critics were leeches who drank from the lifeblood of artists because they didn't create a thing in their life. They sit at an elevated space, elevated state, where they're able to make content off of people who did the hard work of making the content, take away its essence, and gain their own fan bases that way. This isn't a video about that, but I feel like that's good set dressing for why I don't like videos about how a person fell off, right? First of all, I want to disclaim that critics are an important part of the space. Curating and drawing attention and ultimately signal boosting creators and artists is a fantastic thing. Having people who are able to communicate the merit of a piece when people just fumble and say that it's good is important. There's a good space on the internet for criticism. Media criticism, criticism of peers and other individuals. But I think that even if it is for content, even if it is for the thumbnail, videos on how this person fell off inherently, I think there's a just great deal of disrespect. You've effectively turned this person, their career, their life's experiences into a zero-sum game for which they've lost, and you're defining them by it. At one point we were worried about critics taking creators' work for content, but really these videos are about taking a creator and reducing their entire lives' experiences, their personhood, and melting it down into what is in essence a very tight script of a narrative of why this person has been written off, if not by you, by the community, if not by the community, why they should be. I've spoken a great deal to how much I dislike misery business. I'm not sure to what extent I've done that on this channel or the Twitch channel, for which I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But in both cases, I feel like even if our brains are attuned to when the situation goes wrong, it still strikes me wrong to have that relationship with a person. There's already parasociality, wherein two people will never really know each other by virtue of the way the relationship through content works. There's already parasociality. But what about just completely unpersoning a creator for the purpose of content? And to be honest, I would prefer not being seen as a person. Well, not literally, but I do really like the idea of a degree of separation that comes with VTubing. Not necessarily because you're able to curate how you look, how you sound, how you appear, how you're taken to a certain degree, but just because I think it's more of an honor to be a symbol than it is to be a messy person. Sometimes I'll make a video that is much more developed than I am as a person, and I will put that as inspiration for myself. I'd like to be, in essence, larger than life in some ways. There is a certain kind of elective dehumanization you have to have in order to gain icon status. To be somewhat recognized but not really known by more than just your initial fan base. Very few creators have gotten there. And I think it's still generational as well. I'm not sure how many people would recognize the dog walker. And people hear me say dog walker and they go, oh, there's a dog that needs to be walked? I'm like, no, dog. You know, dog. How stupid. I think what annoys me most is that this person believes, if not that they can call it definitively, that they have some kind of jurisdiction in saying when this person's career is over. Like, they're weighing in on that. It feels so dramatic. Imagine being a content creator and seeing someone else make a video on you, talking about why it's all over, why you've lost your appeal, why people have fled for the hills or it's no longer your moment. I don't know the level of psychic damage that would give you, but to me, I'm just thankful that the majority of content creators that large are resilient at that point. You can't really get that large with having a fragile ego. You'll just fall apart. So no, that videos exist for the very reason of saying, oh, this person is no longer relevant, and giving themselves relevance by speaking on this as though historically. That is my content ick. It has to be a career thing too. Like, talking about the anatomy of a failure of one specific piece of someone's content, I think is fine. Saying why 1 or 2 or maybe a week of 10-minute talks did not work, that's a fair analysis. I think we're allowed to criticize artists based on their periods, on their creations. We're allowed to show off our taste. But I think it's a completely different thing. It's a completely new thing, I think. It might not be. I might just be ignorant. But it feels like a new thing where we say, oh, this creator is done. They have nothing left to offer us. I think I just recorded a video about how viewers and perceivers, watchers are not entitled. They are just people who exist to interact with and entertain content, and if the content isn't for them, they'll skip. I think the video I just recorded right before that had this point, and I'm here to say that, specifically for people who enjoy these videos, do content creators exist to wait on you hand and foot? I simultaneously don't want to be a person, right? I simultaneously want to be higher and grander than a person. I want to be character. I want to live in your head rent-free. But I also hate these very human interactions, these very human reactions to a person who isn't acting or existing the way you do, or you'd want them to, and making a video on that. Videos on how it's not the same. I know we're emboldened to share our opinions. I doubt I'd held back my punches when I spoke to some other media criticism things, but I never thought I dropped value judgments. Videos on why a person's content is dead, or dying, or just having written them off. If you're a creator and you see that of yourself, the best thing you can do is prove them wrong. Pop off. Have them have to rescind their point and say how this creator stayed in the game. Spite them. Ding ding ding, 10 minutes.